Turning now to new details on the school tragedy in Texas. Police say the door the 18-year-old suspect walked through at Robb Elementary School was apparently unlocked.
They say Salvador Ramos was inside the building for at least 45 minutes before Border Patrol agents stormed a classroom and killed him. That's according to a timeline provided today by the regional director at the Texas Department of Public Safety. The school does normally have an armed safety officer, but one was not readily available on Tuesday when the gunman killed 19 children and 2 teachers in a classroom.
Many other details of the case and the police response remain murky, including the motive. Now actions by the Uvalde police are under the microscope.
It was reported that a school district police officer confronted the suspect that was making entry. Not accurate. He walked in unobstructed initially. So from the grandmother's house to the bar ditch to the school, into the school, he was not confronted by anybody. To clear the record on that. 4 minutes later, law enforcement are coming in to solve this problem.
Students across the country walked out of schools today as a protest to call for action in the wake of the shooting in Uvalde. In Providence, a group of students walked to the steps of the State House. You'll hear their message to lawmakers coming up new at 6. And while the moments leading up to the tragedy continue to be pieced together, the debate continues over how to ensure it never happens again.
Today, members of the Rhode Island Legislative Black and Latino Caucus gathering outside the State House, urging the General Assembly to pass gun protection bills that are currently on the table. But gun rights supporters say this tragedy is being used to push an agenda. 12 News reporter Sheena Losciuto has the argument from both sides live now from the State House. Sheena?
Well, these lawmakers say they don't really care what side of the political aisle you're on. They want to work together to build a safe America, a safe Rhode Island for kids. However, those local Second Amendment supporters say they don't really feel like they're a part of this conversation at all.
Please do all that you can do to support these bills.
If it happened in New York and it happened in Texas, these lawmakers say it can happen here. And right now, they believe what's on the books is only making the chances of a mass shooting playing out in Rhode Island go up.
We are the weak link that people from states all around New England are going to come to buy what they need to carry it out in their state. And that's the best case scenario we're talking about. Otherwise, it's going to be a Rhode Islander who perpetrates that type of misery in our state.
Calling on their colleagues to pass a set of gun safety bills, including one that would ban high-capacity magazines and so-called assault weapons. Those bills and more are being considered at the State House right now, but have yet to make it to the floor for a full vote.
This tragedy and these children are going to be used as a tool to push an agenda.
While Second Amendment supporters say these bills are not the answer.
We're angry because already it's the gun owners that are the problem. It's the gun owners' fault, and getting rid of the guns are the answer. But the problem is this is a serious mental health crisis.
Brenda Jacob of the Rhode Island Revolver and Rifle Association says the gun community wants nothing but safety. However, she believes the state could better focus on things like mental health and upgrading safety at schools. And right now, she feels like she doesn't have a seat at the table in the discussion.
We want to meet in the middle and talk about things that we know are going to work.
America's toxic gun culture that provides easy access to deadly weapons is killing us.
And the lawmakers at this press conference were confident that if these bills were to reach the floor, they think that they could pass. And the governor was also at this press conference today. He also has expressed support for all of them. We're live in Providence tonight. I'm Sheena Losciuto, 12 News.
Tonight, the sorrow, anger, and questions continue in the wake of the school tragedy in Uvalde, Texas. Today was supposed to be the last day of school at Robb Elementary.
But instead of planning summer vacation, 21 families are mourning, and some are questioning the police response. This afternoon, the regional director of the Texas Department of Public Safety said the 18-year-old gunman walked into the school through an apparently unlocked door. He says police got there in minutes and that the gunman shot at them before going into a classroom. The director admits it was at least 45 minutes later that Border Patrol agents finally stormed the classroom and killed the gunman.
Javier Cazares' 10-year-old daughter was killed in the massacre and claims police were unprepared.
They said they rushed in and all that. We didn't see that. I didn't see no preparedness at all. I mean, as soon as they heard that gunshot, they should have rushed in.
Robb Elementary normally has an armed school safety officer, but the regional public safety director says there was not an armed officer available when the gunman arrived on Tuesday.
The school tragedy has reignited the debate over gun control in this country.
This afternoon, students walked out of schools nationwide, calling for lawmakers to do something about the string of mass shootings.
Here in Providence, a group of students walked out of school and to the steps of the State House with a message for the lawmakers inside.
I'm tired of hearing about shootings. Gun control needs to happen. Last week there was a shooting in Buffalo, and you know what? That had me questioning, where am I safe to be? And the answer is nowhere, because guns are so easy to get.
Those students were followed this afternoon by a group of lawmakers themselves pushing for stricter gun control measures.
12 News reporter Sheena Loshuto continues our coverage live from Providence.
Well, oftentimes these gun bills being considered at the Rhode Island State House bring out hundreds of people to come testify on them. But so far this year, none of the bills have made it to the floor for a full vote, something some lawmakers say needs to happen right away.
I don't care what side of the issue you sit on, our children are being targeted.
No one wants safety more than we do.
All sides seem to agree America's children deserve to be safe at school. But these Rhode Island lawmakers say a set of gun safety bills being considered at the State House right now are the key to help make sure that happens.
Rhode Island law currently allows an 18-year-old, just like the shooter of Buffalo and Texas, to legally buy an assault weapon, equip it with high-capacity magazine, and even walk down the street openly carrying it.
Calling on their colleagues to pass the set of gun safety bills, including banning high-capacity magazines and so-called assault weapons. Those bills and more are being considered at the State House, but have yet to make it to the floor for a full vote.
America's toxic gun culture that provides easy access to deadly weapons is killing us.
While many Second Amendment supporters say the proposed bills are not the answer, an answer they hope to contribute to. But Brenda Jacob with the Rhode Island Revolver and Rifle Association says the gun community is often left out of the conversation.
Well, the gun community is so heartbroken about another tragedy happening, and we feel that there are ways that it could have been prevented, and we have a lot of ideas to bring to the table, but I just, you know, it's just so sad what's going on.
And another bill that's currently being considered proposes raising the gun buying age from 18 to 21. And these lawmakers that held that press conference today say they believe if these bills were to reach the full floor, they think they would pass. Reporting live in Providence, I'm Sheena Loshuto, 12 News.